I understand, what he's trying to do. And it's like, I guess if I would have had my father, or if I had my grandfather, alive at the time when I was, first learning how to do this stuff, he had passed away already. So I didn't have that. And I would have tried to do those same things to try to impress him. But that's the part that just gets you in the door, that gets you to the dance. And I don't think that I would have recognized the trap at the time as a 20-year-old, if I would have been met with initial success in doing those things. I'm glad that I failed. I'm glad. I'm glad that happened to me because I have a personality disorder that would have allowed me to never really learn if I wouldn't have had that first initial shock and pain. It wasn't enough for me to say, oh, I'm never trading again. It just means, okay, this is a whole lot more than I thought it was going to be. I lost 50% of my trade in one night, in one sleep, from one going to bed and one rising up. When that orange juice market opened up, I had lost 50% of that option. The premium I paid for that, I lost it overnight. And while I knew that was immediate, I didn't know what I was doing. I need to pull out, take the loss, and go back and figure out what I did wrong. Learn how to trade. Most of you probably wouldn't have never done that. I'm glad that happened. So the way you avoid failure ultimately, let me define it for you. Failing is you're never doing it again. That means you failed. You're not failing if you go out there and you try and you try to study and you do things and you forward test and you blow your demo account. That's not failing. You're learning so much, but you just don't have a way of measuring it right now. You see it as, I'm never learning how to do this. I'm never going to be able to get this. I can't get past this threshold. What's my barrier? Why can't I learn this quicker? That's the thing that you're doing. And here's the amazing thing that you don't realize. Everybody goes through that. I went through it. Dozens of times I quit. Dozens of times. But in reality, in my heart, if you were asking me at the time, because there's nobody there next to me when I was 20 years old, I didn't have a buddy, a study partner to say, hey, look, stay encouraged. My encouragement was getting up and going to work again the next day. And I was like, screw this. I'm going in there. I'm studying more. I'm going to study more. I'm going to study more. So failure is when you ultimately get to the point where you're done. You're never doing this again. You failed then. You absolutely failed. You did. I didn't fail you. The market didn't fail you. Somebody else that's taught you how to trade didn't fail you. You failed you. You did. You stopped. You gave up. You rang the bell. You went home. It's over for you. So that's failure. That was never in the cards for me. Once this bug bit me in 1992, it was over. I'm become a mutant now. And I looked at these charts as a way of getting the hell out of the rat race. And I gave myself a 20-year program. 20 years. It's going to take me 20 years to get where I can no longer have to go to work. That's what I was subscribing to. You'll never hear somebody teach that today. They'll laugh them off of YouTube. They'll never have a following on social media. It would never happen. You got to have 50 R or higher, baby, or nobody's going to your shit. Nobody's interested in you unless you're making all kinds of money, showing certificates and payouts and this, that, and the other thing. Or this person talked to you and this person interviewed you. All of that stuff is bullshit. All of it. And I'm proving it in November. I'm at the biggest I've ever been. And it don't fucking matter. I live this stuff. And when you get to be successful and you can do it too, you're going to remember this. Because the people that are still out there leeching on people, give me money, pay me, I'll teach you how to trade. They're fucking broke. Okay, they're broke. And you're going to pay more attention to the opinions of these types of people instead of just simply listening to a guy that's been here before and have taken everybody that you see now publicly. They're out there. They're showing you what they've done. The companies that have been paying them are interviewing them. You have all the proof now that there's no reason for you not to dig your heels in and study. It's not going to happen for you fast. I didn't tell you it was going to happen to you overnight. You have to submit to a full year. That's the minimum, because you'll know if it's in you or not. And most people can't even do a year. So that's a person that's not equipped to learn. If you can't simply go through an observation of one full year, you want to be a surgeon? You think they let you go out there and 4-month program and start cutting on people? No way. You want to be a pilot? Oh yeah, go ahead and try to, see what you can do. Show us your best attempt here. Get in here, a $30 million jet. Come on, let's see what you got. It doesn't work like that. But this have it right now mentality, that's a millennial mindset. It's a flawed mindset. And some of you don't like it because I'll tell you, as an old head, I will tell you straight up, you have your head up your ass and you can't see things with the proper perspective, and it offends you and it pisses you off. I don't give a fuck, because you need to be corrected, not just in this, but in every aspect of life, because you think everything's owed to you. In this business, you're going to work real hard for a little bit in the beginning, but that little bit, you can multiply and magnify that exponentially. And you don't even realize that. You don't need much. You don't need much. But you see these people out there that have leased cars, and I don't have a problem with leased cars. But these people out here, they have leases, and they rent things, and they go on vacation, and they pretend that they live there. They don't live there. They pretend they make all this money from the marketplaces. They don't. They get it from teaching. They get it from affiliate programs, all that stuff. And I'm not kicking shit on them for doing it. Everybody needs to make their money. But my point is you're looking at that type of person thinking, I want to be like that. I don't want you to be like that. I want you to be able to go into the marketplace, make your ends meet. And if you want to turn it into whatever you want to do beyond that, go for it. It's about making sure you don't need a paycheck. Not get rich. Look, you can take what I've taught and turn it into whatever amount you want to turn it into. The sky is not the limit. But you cannot, absolutely cannot, try to convince yourself that success is only that. That's not true. Because I guarantee you, if you were getting half of your bills each month paid out of your trading, you wouldn't call that a failure. You'd be thinking, I'm successful. Look at this. I'm getting half my ends met, and I don't have to spend the other half of my income on it. Now I've unleashed half of my monthly income. My surplus income has now gone up. That's a success. But it's amazing to hear some of you that reach out to me and say, look, I'm only doing $3,000 a month, and I just feel like I should be able to do more. Dude, you just started 6 months ago. You just started 6 months ago. I know people that don't even make $3,000 a month. Gross. You're netting it. And you're complaining about that. As a new startup, you've never done this before. In 6 months, now you're making $3,000 consistently, and you're bitching about it. 22-year-old mindset, because you are chasing Instagram lifestyle. Sit down and say, you know what? I have all this stuff. I have these cars. I go on these vacations. I have nice this and nice that. That's wonderful. Now, here's how I'm able to do it. I'm going to go into the chart. I'm going to show you what's going to happen. And we're all going to watch it happen. They don't do that. They don't do it. They don't need to. You know why? Because their image has sold the shit that they're selling to everybody, and you're all eating it up. You're eating it up. And I've been out here teaching through the medium of a demo account, and I have made millionaires, plural. What's the difference? I have that stuff, but I know that doesn't make you a better trader. I have what you're looking for, and it's boring in the beginning. It's all practical, common sense stuff that you know in your heart that you have thought about this stuff, but you discount it at the time. No, I don't want to focus on that stuff. That's boring. I want to have that jet set life. Well, you can have that jet set life, but you have to know that you can keep making the money to sustain that lifestyle. Because when courses stop selling, when mentorships stop selling, those individuals aren't going to have that floss anymore. And you can fill in the blank with whoever you think I'm talking about, because I'm putting everybody's name in that. It's just the way it is. I get it. Image sells. I know that. But that shouldn't be the reason for you to go out there and try to do something. You should be thinking, I want to be sustained by my trading. I don't want to be a flash in the pan. I don't want to have a one-hit wonder. I want to go into this with the mindset that I'm going to succeed long term. And every decision I make about what I'm trying to study, why I'm studying it, what's the purpose of what it is I'm looking for. And whenever you get to the point where you've learned something from me that you can now be consistent with, unless it's the things like we're talking about right now, stop. Don't dilute it. Get really, really good at what you've been warmed up to. It might be the silver bullet. It might be just, hey, I got some old students that simply like, man, this is really cool what you're bringing out, but I'm still making money on optimal trade entry, and I just don't want to change. You know what? That's wisdom. That is wisdom. That's a smart person. That's someone that is educated. And here's the thing. Here's the rub. Here's the thing that you don't understand that they do. They know themselves. They know enough to know that ICT's got all kinds of freaking crack. I got something to get you all high. But they found their vice, their method, their model, their thing that makes them click. And they don't have to reinvent anything anymore. They don't have to step out there and feel what it feels like to be, I don't really understand how this works yet. They found themselves, and they know that if they tried messing with that extra stuff I'm teaching now, not that it's not worth it, not that it doesn't work, it's amazing. They know themselves well enough, they're mature enough as an individual that they know that they would wreck themselves and mess up the progress and disrupt their continuity that they have found by having one approach, which is what I've been preaching all along. Some of you to just warm up to me in the last couple of months, or maybe it's the first time you listened to me on, maybe the last few videos. Man, this guy's got all kinds of shit. What are you supposed to do with all this stuff? You're trying to bring everything into one market in any one given time. I don't do that. I have models. When the model is in price action, I'll see it. But I have taught you now 3 very specific, highly visual models that I think that are pretty easy to see. One will gravitate, well, you'll gravitate more or less to one of them more than another. And it doesn't mean you're not a good SMC, ICT student or a trader if you don't really resonate with the other things I'm teaching. Just because somebody else that's a student of mine is kicking the shit out of some kind of funded account company out there and getting all kinds of withdrawals and payments and all kinds of shit from them, doesn't mean that that's the model for you. And that's very important that you hear that from me. They found their model. Your model is yours. And if you start making money with it, never get in the position where you're trying to talk people into doing what you're doing, because that shit don't work. I promise you it doesn't work. You'll have more people complaining that it doesn't work than the ones that'll step forward and say, I'm making money with what you're doing. Because when people start making money, they don't give a shit about anybody else's opinion. If you're really making money, if you're able to do these things, you're not going to go on my Twitter feed and talk shit. You got shit to do. You're making money. You're living your life. You're not hanging out trying to talk shit to me. That's just not going to happen. And that's what you want to focus on. These are all things, these are all decisions, these are all characteristics of people that will eventually fail. But the ones that do not fail, they're guarding their mind. They're looking for that one approach, that one model that suits them perfectly. Now, that doesn't mean no losses. It just means that, okay, when this doesn't work and I have a losing transaction, whether it be a demo or it's a live account, it doesn't change your opinion about the model being effective. And as a new student or a new trader, that's an uncomfortable statement because it's hard for you to reason with that and think, hey, I just lost money. Why should I feel good about that? Because you didn't lose more than you did. And you also know that you're not going to go in there recklessly and just try to get it back, because that silver bullet, that model 2022, that optimal trade entry isn't in the chart anymore right now. You have to wait for the next setup. Guess what that does? That instills patience. What are you being patient for? I'm waiting for my model. I'm waiting for the time of the day when my model will be in out of here. We literally can set our watches to the setups I'm teaching you. We know when they're going to form. We know. It doesn't mean that every setup is 100%. And when it does not pan out, you stop, reassess. Is there still time? I'm still in the time window. Is there a new, same type of model, same setup? Is there a new one forming? If it did, less risk, half of what you just took leverage on, half the risk, and try it again. If you lose there, you stop for the day. Don't even come back for the afternoon. And then the next day you reset and start all over again. Now, 99% of Twitter, Instagram traders, they don't think like that. They don't have any capacity for it. They don't even understand that you can sit down and expect between a certain time window of a beginning and an ending, there will be a trade form between this time and that time. It will absolutely form. My model will be in that 60 minutes. It's absolutely going to be there, and I'm here for it. I'm showing up the work. Here it is. I'm here. I'm not trying to fail. And you're learning how to do that for free. And you're seeing your brothers and sisters in this community making bank, real money, not demo dollars. And they all learned from me, the demo baller. They learned and saw the examples I showed through the medium of a demo. Because if I teach you through a demo, number one, I'm protected. I'm not a licensed financial advisor. And the people that did the math on this and figured out, well, you know, if this stuff works in a demo and I can get good at it consistently with a demo, there might be a day where I wake up and say, let me try it with real money. And you did that on your own. And all the success is yours. Equally so, on the other side of that coin, if you do it prematurely and you lose money, you eat that. And some of you aren't prepared for that responsibility. You want to be able to hold on to that. Well, I'm going to blame that guy. I'm going to blame that book. That video series he didn't teach me that part and I lost and it's his fault. That's bullshit. That's somebody that's not equipped to do this, because you're going to lose money. You're going to absolutely, guaranteed, no matter what you trade with, you're going to lose money. Nobody does it 100%. And you have to be prepared for that. Or welcome and invite failure. Don't rush to get through that funded combine challenge, okay? It's literally laughable. And I keep reminding my son, look, these things that you try to do, they're not working for you because you're trying to push too hard. You're not listening. In the time that you're trying to save, you're compounding it and you're increasing more of it. You're making it farther ahead of you in a longer distance to between where you are right now and where you want to be by doing stupid things that I've already told you not to do. But lessons like that, sometimes they have to really hurt. They have to hurt enough to know that this isn't doing it for me. And just because he's my son, and just because Cody, my oldest son, was, birthed from me, does not give them an advantage. We're all humans. And we're all going to do things impulsively. In summary, the way you avoid failing is you filter what goes into your mind. If you are constantly feeding yourself Instagram garbage, image things, you're never going to be satisfied with your progress when your progress is more than ample. If you weren't comparing it with everything else around me, anyone else that shows you materialistic stuff, you're never going to appreciate the growth that you're going through. How guilty are you in that? When you think about it like that, it's silly that you waste so much time worshiping these people. I don't encourage you to do it with me. In fact, I hate it. But all these guys out there want to be called the GOAT. They all want to be looked up to. I want to be like you. I want to drive the cars that you have. I want to have friends ride around your boat that you don't really have a relationship with. Sorry, Pat, I had to throw that in there. The point is this. You can get caught up in all that kind of stuff. Okay, you can get all caught up in image things, and none of that's going to increase your bottom line. But you know what it will do? It'll prevent your bottom line from growing. And I'll say it again. All that image stuff, all that social media pomp and clout, that measuring up stuff, absolutely does nothing. Does nothing for taxable income. Doesn't do anything but make it harder to obtain. Because you're chasing image. You're pursuing image. There was a soda commercial years ago. Image is nothing, obey your thirst. That's actually a really good slogan for right now. Image is nothing. Obey your thirst. What's your thirst? Success. You want to be able to get out of that cubicle. You don't want to be in that mundane job. You don't want to be doing those jobs, plural, for some of you. You want a better life. You want a better life for your kids, your family tree. None of that will happen by looking at people on social media. You're chasing an image with people that don't even know how to manage their money correctly. Spending frivolously on dumb stuff instead of securing passive income, securing generational wealth, all the while not gambling, all the while building an empire quietly, drawing no special attention to yourself. That's the way you do it. And I'm going to go back to that type of lifestyle in November. So you can do all your polls and question what's the odds of this guy I'm not going to be on Twitter in November. I'm not. There isn't going to be a future mentorship. I'm not opening up mentorship later on. I'm not going to have to come back and pick up more money because I'm broke. I'm not going to be broke. I don't ever need to trade ever again, folks. I want you to understand this. For the people that constantly say this shit, I've never seen anybody that's so rich that they can't trade anymore. They don't need to trade anymore. I'm fucking loaded. I don't need to take a trade ever again. I don't need to do it. That's the definition of being rich. I don't need to. That's what I want you to have. I don't need to go to work. I don't need to worry about bills. I don't need to worry about if I'm going to get fired. I don't need to worry about making medical payments on insurance because it's too fucking high and it's all a fraud, scam, Obamacare bullshit. All these pressures that everybody has. I don't want you to have any of that stuff. If you just listen to me and take the time to investigate everything, it's there in the chart. It's always there. It's not morphing into something hiding from you. It's there. But you have something else in front of you that's distracting you. Image, fear, greed. What's your thirst? Image is nothing. Obey your thirst. The thirst is independence. Financially independent. You're human. You're going to make mistakes and you're going to do things incorrectly. And it's normal to do that in the beginning. But minor setbacks, growing pains, stop losses that get hit, and you result in a monetary loss, whether it be demo or your combine or your funded account taking a hit. That's all normal. There's nothing to be afraid of. That's something more than it is. It's a simple tax. It's all it is. You are going to be taxed, period. You can't escape it. You're going to have losses. You're going to have losing trades. You're going to miss opportunities, and you're going to have real shit happen in the real world. And when it does, it fucks you up in your head, and you should not be trading. Period. I'm practicing what I preach. I know my tendencies is very much about replacing an uncomfortable state of mind. And many times I'm in an uncomfortable state of mind every single day. My mood swings are violent sometimes, and they have been extremely violent. I can't change it. I can't bring her back. And the closest thing I can do is to get two more to spend more time loving and caring for and inviting into our family. A pet to me is a family member. Waking up and you don't see that part of your family anymore, and you expect to. It hurts. And that hurt, that pain, it's with me all day long. So it's inviting me to go in to do things that would make me feel better. And when I had to get off of social media yesterday because I saw all these fucking asshats out there talking stupid shit, trying to get attention because they mentioned my name. That is the invitation for me to do things that I know won't give me the result I'm looking for. As much as, and if I was in a better state of mind, I'd be out there, toying with them. But I'm hurting right now, so I can't allow that. And you have to be mindful of that in your own trading, in your own personal life. You're going through stuff, and it's going to happen. You're going to lose someone. You're going to, maybe not have someone, and you are lonely. You want to get with someone. You want to start a relationship, and you're not having any success with it. All those things are perfect invitations for you to go out there and fail. Not right away, but that one thing that you do wrong, and you have a loss in trading, you'll amplify it. You'll nurture it and give it more attention, more of the same rotten fruit, more losses, regret. And this is going to feed itself. And that will push you right into, I can't do this anymore. I got to stop. And that's failure. I don't want that for any of you. But you should not, and this is my closing, you should not fear losing. You should not fear going in drawdown. You should not fear blowing out your first account. You should not fear that. Respect that might happen, and that is going to be the instigation for you to follow rules. Developing discipline, keeping your mind in the game about what it is you're doing, not just going out there and just rolling the dice to see what happens. Now, I'm reminding you, in these instances, what's going to happen is probably what you don't want to see happen. And the perfect illustration of that is you don't want to see it happen, and you won't accept that it's happened, even though if you're in that trade that you impulsively entered, at some point, many times, you'll have that little warning sign go off. It isn't going to work out for you. And your conscience, which will be your inside voice, your internal voice, will say, you should have never did that. Just close it right now. You're only down a couple $100. Just close it. But you won't. You won't. Because you are hurting. And you want a white knight to come in and save you. And the white knight never fucking shows up. It doesn't. And then one of two things happens. The market stays against you and eventually squeezes you out where you can't even tolerate it anymore. Or you blow out. How are you going to feel about your execution, your decision to take that trade at the time, knowing that you shouldn't have done it. Then even in that trade, you knew you should have got out, but you didn't. Do you see how it easily compounds? These are things that mentors don't talk to you about because they don't have any answer for it.